point at me. You know, you got to do the Wayne's World. 5, 4, 3. Was muted. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great LTS show as the music hits in the background. I am your host, Bodkins, as always. It is, one day after BB, one day after death of Bob Barker, RIP to the man who, we all sat in the early morning shows and, when we were skipping school right before the old Young and the Restless came on and watched us some Price is Right with Bob Barker. Bob got us through some tough times and some good times. It was funny yesterday when I said, man, Bob Barker died. And my daughter says, who's that? And a little piece of my soul left. Not just that Bob Barker died, is that I have not done a good enough job with my kids to watch Bob Barker. And times have changed. All the kids are on the internet. If they're staying at home, they're not, only got 3 channels to turn on Bob Barker. I guess it's Drew Carey now, maybe. I don't even know if Drew's doing the show. But anyway, rest in peace, Bob Barker, legend of the man himself. At 99, man knew when to dip out close enough to $1. So, rest in peace to the one and only Bob Barker. Man, we have gone through some tough times here, man. And the other day we had Bray Wyatt pass away, Bob Barker, Terry Funk, so wrestling and some celebrities. So, man. But, hey, we're here to lift your spirits up this morning. We got the guys coming in here, none other than Mr. Johnny Cruz himself. Johnny, what's up, my man?
What's going on, bro? You ain't lying. Not only is it we lose Bob Barker, and I almost texted that in the thread, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. I was gonna say, yeah, Bob made it as close to $1 without going over. So he won, he won it, but I didn't want to put that out into the universe. But you know what? I think he's smiling down. He lived a good life. That was one of my favorite shows. That may impact the Cruising Top 5, just to let people know. But happy to be here. It's a great Sunday morning. Wifey's birthday today, so I'm gonna have a good day, man. I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, happy birthday to Mrs. Cruz. What's the plan for the wife today?
Well, she's just chilling. I'm gonna go get her some breakfast once we get done with this, and then whatever it is that she wants to do, man. You know what I'm saying? It is usually depending on how she feels when she gets up that morning. 25 years married, together 27 years, you realize that sometimes it's better to not plan nothing and just let her, let her feel how she's feeling, and then you go from there. And then, we'll go with the flow today. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab her something to eat after this. So
happy birthday again to the missus. Mm-hmm. This guy is close to 99. Him and Bob Barker went to the same high school, I'm pretty sure. None other than Mr. Hall of Fame himself, Mr. Scott Cobe.
Bob Barker graduated 2 years before me, at my high school.
Hey, bringing him on. He's over there chip-chapping. There he is. Hey, Scott, what's up, my man?
Bob Barker is 2 years prior to me in my high school, just to
let you guys
know. So, Keith remembers him. We had a long talk about him yesterday. Keith spilled his pudding all over the place when he heard, so very upset with Keith. And Keith will be on. I guess Keith's coming on the show pretty soon, so I gotta get him some sleep and some
Thursday night. So Scott, make sure Keith takes his afternoon nap so he can stay up late and join us Thursday night for our AFC East preview show.
You know how bad the betting is. I'm watching the Czech golf tournament right now. I have a golfer in that golf tournament.
Who do we bet on today, Scott?
We got the Braves over the Giants. We got the Orioles over the Rockies, and we got the Phillies over the Cardinals.
Braves, Orioles, and who else?
Phillies. Yeah.
Braves.
Yeah, because I shouted at you yesterday in the text thread for some picks. I made 3 picks on my own. Yeah, I'm not doing that shit no more by myself. I lost all 3 of them damn games.
And a betting tip: stop looking at NFL point spreads for Week 1. They are about as low as they could be right now. They will start either going up or down depending on what happens there in terms of cuts and all that, and injuries and all that other stuff. Just take a look at them. See what they are. If you're going to bet like Justin Herbert passing yard total for the year, you got to bet it before Thursday night Detroit Kansas City game. So you only have about a week and a half to get that shit taken care of. So make sure you do, because it's some of those season long bets out there are pretty easy. Like a David Montgomery 770.5 rushing yards for the season. That's 44 yards a game. He's going to go over that. Unless he gets hurt. So you should just be looking at that stuff now before it goes up or goes way up and you can't bet it. So
now let's go ahead and bring in another Mr. Producer. He's driving back from Milwaukee. Another than Mr. Buffoon himself, Tanner Dawson, baby.
What's up, guys? Another 2-0 week for myself.
Well, you need to stay in Milwaukee then. Your brother doesn't want you to leave, right?
No,
Yeah,
we need.
He tried sabotaging my car. My tire light came on right after the game last night. And of course, I was leaving really early. So he was trying. But, sometimes you just can't make it. So, but another great weekend or another great time in Milwaukee. So
It's no longer called Miller Park, right? It's something different.
it's no, it's not it's American Family.
That's
That
what
was
I
the
think.
Padres they beat, right?
Huh?
That was the Padres they beat, right?
Yeah, it was the Padres. They're 2-0 in this series in the Padres, so another series win. 7 in a row for the Milwaukee Brewers. So if you guys don't have Milwaukee in your top 10 come here in a couple weeks, I'm going to be very disappointed if we're still looking at the Reds and the Cubs again.
Hey, the Cubs won yesterday, baby. We brought up the kid. He pitched really well. But, I mean, the Brewers are hot. A team that's not hot.
You got a big series, Nick. Big series after today. 3 games, Milwaukee Cubs in Wrigley.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good. This is a big one.
If the Cubs, it is. If the Cubs can take 2 out of 3, if the Brewers take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, it pretty much wraps it up. I believe for the Brewers, they'll win.
I think the nice part about it for the Cubs though is the 3 big guys pitched this weekend for the Brewers. So now you got, I think, probably Wade Miley's coming in. You probably get one other guy. Peralta pitched yesterday. So,
he did? Okay.
Yeah. So he pitched really well. He pitched Friday.
Yeah,
so you might see him at the end, but that'd be the last game of the series.
The Cubs are 4 back right now. So if the Brewers take 2 out of 3, then they're 5 to 6 back, and at that point in time, Brewers clinch it up unless they just this last month just absolutely squander. Right. It's so hard to squander 6 games in a.
It's possible.
It's possible. Yeah, it happens.
How about Tuesday's pitching matchup? Justin Steele against Corbin Burns.
That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be really good.
The Cubs got to take if the Cubs want to win. If the Cubs want to win this division, they got to take 2 out of 3 this week. They got to.
Well, they got to stop the fire of Milwaukee at this moment. So they got to do something.
Yeah. And the other thing that Cubs have to worry about is if they don't take 2 or 3, it's the wild card race too. Can they stay in it?
Yeah.
Even if they lose 2 or 3. So Milwaukee could really put a nail in their coffin for the division and make it tough for the wild card.
Yeah, right now we're a half a game of Arizona we're in the second wild card spot, half game ahead of Arizona, but right there, Cincinnati, the Giants are still a game and a half back, and everybody, it's Miami's 3 back, but I just don't believe in them. The Padres have now fallen. Yeah,
I think
since
Cincy's on their slow bleed, like I said during the ranking show. The slow bleed has begun.
But the Padres were there, and now they've fallen dead. They've fallen back. Speaking of the Padres, are they the most disappointing team in baseball? I know, Johnny, your Yankees got to be right there. The Cardinals got to be right there. But
the Mets are right there as well.
Mets,
I'd say the Mets over the Padres.
Yeah,
I know
because
the
of that
Padres have
payroll.
all these guys, but you got a team that was coming in with big payroll, going in and get guys. You had the Correa fiasco happen as well. But I think the Mets in a winnable division. Yes, I know Atlanta's good, but in a winnable division still, at least a wild card spot. It's just been a tankathon ever since the trade deadline.
Yeah, especially coming off of 101 wins last year, and then you add Verlander, so there was a lot of expectation for the Mets.
Plus,
I would put the Mets up there. Yankees, of course. Cardinals is surprising as well. So yeah, there's a few.
Cardinals too. Yeah.
Look at all the teams that have thrown money at players to come. The Mets threw money at a lot of players. Terrible. The Padres threw money at everybody. Terrible. The Yankees signed Aaron Judge to a $375 million contract, so their payroll is up there now. Terrible. I mean, the day of throwing money at free agents and guys to come in and play for you, that might be over. You might have to go the way of growing your own talent in the minors and then bringing them up. Look at the teams that are
like what Atlanta did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at the teams that are fighting for wild card spots and playoff spots. Arizona, homegrown for the most part. The Cubs.
Milwaukee.
A lot of it is homegrown, but a lot of it is middling contracts, not the huge money contracts. The Cody Bellinger contracts. He didn't get huge money in free agency. So those days of throwing money at players to come play for you, that might be over. So
not only that, do you notice how it went from as much complaining as we were doing about the analytics because it was all home run, walks and strikeouts. Now it's about stealing bases, it's about athleticism and stuff like that. So it's slowly
the pendulum's swinging back, Johnny.
God.
You know what I mean?
So we can see some exciting baseball. Young athletic players are the way to go. And your farm system should always be a big part of your team. I never liked when the Yankees spent, all that money in free agency, a piece here or there to kind of just finish it off. But the core of your team should be homegrown young players, man. You got to
remember too, the offensive approach changed in baseball this year due to the fact that the ban shift. You didn't have to worry about having to hit a home run all the time. You can now, comfortably hit where you need to. So you got to remember that ban shift was a dynamic piece for MLB offenses this year.
I'm grateful for it, man.
Yeah, let me ask you something. Your brother's a hitting coach for the Milwaukee Brewers, if people don't know. Does it make his job a lot easier now with all these rules changes in terms of no shifts and all that other stuff? Or is it just equally as tough as it's been in the past?
I think it's pretty equally as tough as it's been in the past. He hasn't really said if it's been easier or not, but it doesn't seem like it's any easier. It's just a different game plan you put together versus what you had last year, right? So it's just different planning. I wouldn't say it's one way or the other.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to send a package to your brother, a special package to your brother to give out to all the Brewers ahead of the Cubs series here. Do you got a good address I can send that to him?
Wrigley Field, Nick. Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field.
That's where they're heading right after the game today. So
what is it? 1313 Chicago Boulevard?
And if David Ross intercepts the package, tell him he can keep it. It's not for anybody on the Brewers. It's for the Cubs.
You guys, we are in the final month of the season here in baseball. So I'm just going to kind of go down these divisions. I want you guys just kind of looking here. The Baltimore in the East, it's down to Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's now 3 back of Baltimore. Baltimore, if you guys, here we got the final month. You guys got Baltimore still winning this thing, or can Tampa catch them here?
No, I got Baltimore winning. They've been one of the most consistent teams in the American League. So I think Baltimore will hang on and win the division.
Yeah, I mean Tampa can obviously catch them, but I'm gonna give it to Baltimore. Like Scott said, they've been they've been pretty consistent. Tampa had that little period there where they kind of fell off a bit. Baltimore's just been steady all year long, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it to them. They have more of, like we would just talk about, more of the contact hitters, athleticism. I mean, Tampa Bay's doing it. They're still going home runs or not, but they're still, they're scoring runs, and they got the great pitching staff, so they can. But I'm gonna give it to Baltimore.
You got to realize something here. The Wando Franco issue. That's some team issues that you do not want at this time of year. And I think that's really where it's going to hurt Tampa. They'd have a lot to fight for and be able to replace a guy like Wando. And with that drama going on, like that affects a lot of guys' mentality too. So, as a team, they're usually family. So hearing that stuff, it's probably hurt the chemistry. It's also probably hurt the morale there. Yeah. So especially when you're going into a approach such as Tampa and Orioles. So I think Orioles take the division just fine.
Hey Nick, Nick, Tampa Bay needs another pitcher. You ready to suit up and throw some innings for them?
All right, ask Jonathan Grisham tomorrow night. He can suit up and
I'll take care of that,
Scott. Okay. Yeah, I think Tampa Bay's got the off the field issues. It seems like we may never see Franco ever in Major League Baseball ever again. It's reported that it's reported girls now, so it's more than one. It seems like, and we may never see him in baseball again. I mean, here's the thing, like what's the pitcher, Bauer from the Dodgers? His stuff was, pictures and this and that, but it was consensual, I guess, and he was never found criminal. And we've never seen him in baseball again. Remember, he was suspended 162 games eventually and things like that. So that was an adult, and now we're talking minors. And in the DR where he's from, there's no like Romeo Juliet law either. So if you're a minor, you're a minor. So Wander Franco, we probably won't see him in play baseball, at least not in major leagues ever again.
I totally agree. 1,000%. Yeah.
The division that's tighter than a virgin's butthole in prison is the AL West right now. That's the Texas Rangers are tied with Seattle, with the Astros 1 game back. I mean, the Rangers have been stumbling. They were like on a 10-game losing streak, finally won last night. Houston's right there. Obviously, we know how good they are. Seattle's now come up and now played. Bo's got to be happy. They're finally playing like they should. Who do you guys got winning this? Scott, who you got winning this division?
I didn't know.
Thank you for going to Scott first, though.
I have Seattle. I think they're playing the best baseball of these 3 teams right now, and I think they're back in the race. Texas is just drowning. It's like the Titanic. They're sinking quicker than the Titanic did. So I got Seattle. I think Seattle's going to win this division.
What's turned Seattle on? Like it seemed kind of left for dead there for a little while, and now here they are.
It's their complete MO of their organization. Late in the season, they just go on these crazy win streaks to get them back in races, in the division race and the wild card race. And wherever the switch came, I think Julio Rodriguez is the poster child for the streak because he's been insanely good at the plate for them. So
yeah, he's 9-1 in their last. They're 9-1 in their last 10, while the Rangers are 2-8, and then the Astros are 4-6.
Yeah, there was a stat 3 weekends ago against Houston. He had 17 hits the whole weekend. The Yankees didn't have 17 hits as a team the whole weekend that weekend. That's how insanely good this
They probably didn't have 17 hits that whole week.
The whole week.
Check it, honestly.
Right,
it's horrible, bro.
But it's just whatever has done. And Columbus is now putting other names on it. Alan, that's a good one. I didn't
That
realize.
Is very good, Alan. And thank you for the update there. The way you saw the Jacksonville just run all over us. Yeah, we definitely need him and Wilkins to be there this season. But anyway,
and Houston in this division is just playing basically 500 ball. They just split with the Red Sox. They lost 3 to Seattle. They're just basically playing 500 ball, and that's not good enough to beat Seattle. I don't think so. Give me Seattle.
How's the wild card looking in the AL, Nick?
In the wild card, hold on. So it's Tampa Bay's up 5. Texas, Seattle, Houston are all one game with each other. Toronto's 2.5 back, and then Scott's Red Sox are 4.5 back. So really, it's those three teams. It looks like all three of those teams are going to get in, right? And then unless Toronto,
they should.
Toronto's the only team.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, you guys. Do you see Seattle, Texas, or Houston, 2 of those 3 knocking Toronto out of the third wild card?
I think all 3 of the AL West teams are getting in, at least for the playoffs. I think maybe Toronto.
As long as
2.5 is nothing. I mean, the Rangers could go all the way out. I mean, the way they're playing, right? You got to have more confidence, actually, I guess, in the Blue Jays.
I was just about to say Texas better, get their legs underneath them, because you're saying like you said, 2-8 in the last 10, they can easily have another bad week, and Toronto can leapfrog them. But I think they'll hold on, and I want to give Alan a shout out. I want to give you a rate, but I think Seattle's going to win that division. But I want to give your Rangers some hope there to win the division, but I just don't see it. I don't know. Seattle's hot, man. And Jonathan talked about it this past Monday, that sometimes it's not the best team at the end of the year. It's who's hot at the end of the year. Seattle, they're smoking right now, bro. So I got to go with Seattle.
In baseball, we got to remember baseball is a marathon too. 1 week or 2 weeks can change your season. Look, my own Cubs, 2 weeks, they got hot, changed their whole season around. The Mariners right now changed their whole season around. You just really got to play 500, and then you just hope you don't go in these lulls like the Rangers are, where you're losing 9-10 straight, or you're in a losing streak of two, only winning 2 out of 10 games. So the Rangers at that point in time, if they don't make the playoffs, I would add them to a very disappointing. They bring in DeGrom. He obviously gets hurt. Then they're like, okay, they shift gears. They go spend the money and get, Max Scherzer. And then if they miss the playoffs and not have both those guys, man, that would be troublesome too for the Rangers. So,
Tanner, the last thing the Rangers needed to do was have a losing streak like this late in the year,
especially right now, right? Yep.
And having Seattle and Astros start coming out of nowhere. By the way, Seattle hit 7 home runs against the Royals yesterday. 7 home runs as a team. Unreal.
That was one of my dumbass picks.
Jordan Lyles must have been on the mound. Jordan Lyles must have been on the mound.
I don't know. But that's the thing, though, is you don't want offenses like Seattle, who has proven it in the throughout the season at times, to get hot like they have been, and having the Rangers where they sit. And it's a scary thing. I still think the Rangers pull it out, but it's going to be, come September, the end of September, you're going to get a nail biter. And there's going to be some key series between the Astros, the Rangers, and Seattle on who exactly takes what part of the wild card and who actually takes the division. So
I'm looking at the
right
Rangers.
Now, I'm still going with the Rangers. So
I'm looking at the Rangers schedule right now. So they got their big key series. They have a key series against the Blue Jays in the second week of September, and then then they got the Mariners in mid-September, and then that last weekend of the season they have the Mariners. So that could decide possibly the division and maybe the wild card. Let me look at Houston here too. Houston schedule here. So going into the final month, 26 games to go here. The Astros actually have a pretty easy schedule. They got the Yankees. Then they have a key series with the Rangers. In that we just talked about, and then they got the Royals. They do have a series with the Orioles. They also have the second to last weekend of the series season. They have the Mariners. So all 3 of these teams kind of control their own destiny. They control their own destiny. But
I just looked at their schedule. Their last 10 games, Texas' last 10 games, 7 of them are against Seattle.
Yeah,
one of them is going to knock somebody else out for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So
you go 3-10 or 10-3. You've knocked that team out, and you've knocked yourself out. So those are going to be playoff type games. Those are going to be must win type games.
Nice.
Right now, I have no faith in the Texas Rangers pitching staff. 0. They have pitched terribly the last, I'd say, month or so.
Right.
So I agree with you, Nick. They'll be the most disappointing team because they were in total control of that AL West for much of the season, and then they gave it away because they haven't been able to pitch well. So if they miss the playoffs, I would say they're probably one or two in terms of most disappointing.
And they made two. They added 2 pitchers at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
and they still haven't. Say that's the crazy part, man. That's baseball, man.
Speaking of disappointing, maybe one of the most disappointing draft picks ever is Trey Lance, and he was shipped out of town to Dallas for a 4th round pick. I mean, John Lynch came on air and said, "Hey, we took a stab, we took a risk, it didn't work out, and we're surprised we got a 4th round pick for it." I mean, I was surprised. A 4th round pick for Trey Lance. Scott, what's your thoughts on the Trey Lance trade that happened Friday night as he goes to Dallas to back up Dak Prescott?
I don't know what Jerry Jones is smoking, but hopefully he can resurrect Trey Lance's career. It had to happen. I mean, you watched him this preseason. He was awful this preseason. I mean, I watched the whole Raiders 49ers preseason game in the first week, and he threw 1 touchdown, and the touchdown was in the Raiders defender's hand, and he just went like this for whatever reason, and it fell into the Niners tight end's hand. He's been terrible. He's been 3rd string in practice. He's been working with the scout team. He's been working with backups to the backups. Kyle Shanahan did not want him starting any games at all. So Kyle Shanahan must have went to John Lynch and say, "Hey, look, John, if you can get this guy out of here, let's get this guy out of here. He's not going to make the team. He might not even make the team this year." That's how bad it was.
They weren't good. They had to eat. They weren't going to cut him because of the cap.
That's the only reason why they wouldn't have cut him. But he was just bad. He was bad in practice. He was bad in preseason. And anybody in their right mind that said that Trey Lance was not getting a fair shot, he got plenty fair shot. He got 2 years of starting for the Niners, and then he got the preseason games starting for them as well. So Kyle Shanahan gave every chance possible to win the starting job and to be their starting quarterback. When a guy doesn't play in college, like Trey Lance played 1 year at North Dakota State or wherever, one of those small schools, and then left to get ready for the draft, and because COVID hit, you're never gonna be any good. You just got to keep playing quarterback to be good.
You don't get better at something by not doing it. Johnny, were you surprised the 4th round pick? I thought a 6th or 7th, but man, as soon as Dallas called for a 4th, I said, "Go ahead, stamp it."
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised for a 4th, but I mean, at the same time, a young quarterback. I mean, the NFL, Jerry Jones, Dallas. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, anytime you get an opportunity to try with a young quarterback, a little surprise, a 4th round pick. They probably could have got him for a 6th or a 7th, to be quite honest, like you just said. But I guess Dallas just really wanted to make sure that they got him. I don't know why. I've been saying this since the draft. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand why there was so much talk about him going top 3 when the draft happened, because he hadn't played in almost 2 years, except for the one game that they specially put together just for him to play that one game. But San Francisco saw him every day at practice. The exhibition games, I know he had some bad luck with some injuries or whatever, but they saw enough to know that he ain't no good. So as far as any fan or anybody who thinks, "Oh, no, he didn't," nah, man. They know, you know what I'm saying? They see him every day. So if they wanted to get him out of there so bad, there's a reason for that, man. And I love this one. Kyle Shanahan compared the trade to a GameStop trade.
Kyla
GameStop taking your money.
Not Kyle.
Kyla Shanahan.
Alan woke up with the funnies this morning.
Tanner, are you surprised? You surprised this trade actually happened now? Why didn't Dallas? Did something happen with Dallas, like, to make this move? Because like he was on the block all offseason, and maybe the 49ers released their asking price, like down their asking price. But why not? Why now? Why did Dallas make this move now and not earlier?
I think Dallas knew there was another request out there that got declined because Dallas made the bigger offer in the end. I can't remember which team it was, but there was already chatter amongst the GMs that somebody was, they're going to try to go after Trey, whether it was for a 6th or 7th. And I think Jerry wanted somebody, outside of Ben DiNucci to be a backup for Dak in case something happens again this year. So, and then maybe something new to develop as well, just to see what happens, kind of thing. But I'm not really surprised that Dallas went after them just because they're trying to build a super team like they did with Brandon Cooks already, on top of everything. But why not see what happens in Dallas? Get a new opportunity, new area, new coaches. We'll see what happens. But I'm just surprised by the 4th round pick part. That's all that gets me. You could have done a 5th probably and still beat the other team out.
Yeah, it was the Bills. They're saying
the Bills.
Yeah,
the Bills.
Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Most interesting part to me is teams like Buffalo.
Yeah, it says Ryan says
well.
Most interesting part to me was teams like Buffalo made offers as well. It shows teams wanted to take them.
So I can see Buffalo.
I mean, why not? He's young enough.
Right.
Yeah, I can see Buffalo making him an offer because their backup quarterback situation is just garbage. But
Is
it Matt Barkley still?
No, it's Kyle Allen. Josh Allen's brother.
Oh, okay.
Josh Allen's brother. So here's my
the
question.
Allen.
Yeah, here's my question. So he's at no better a 3rd because Cooper Rush is their backup. He went 6-1 last year when Dak was out. So Trey Lance is no better than where he was in San Francisco, the 3rd string quarterback for Dallas. So he got traded from one situation to another that's just the same for him. I don't know how long he's going to be happy in Dallas as a 3rd string. So I don't know.
Oh, Ryan says, "How dare you bad talk Matt Barkley?" I feel like Matt Barkley's been in the league for 30 years.
That guy sucks.
I didn't. Josh Allen's brother's there. What do you want to do, Ryan? Josh Allen makes all this money. I guess he's the personnel director now for Buffalo. He can decide whether his brother or not wants to play backup. So, sorry, I would. Matt would be on my case about it. Not you, Ryan.
I think with the new rule about the 3rd quarterback, because of what happened in San Francisco, is why teams are taking because nobody wants Trey to be their backup. Yeah. Nobody wants Trey to be their backup. But if you can put him on as your 3rd string and see if you can possibly develop something there, then I get it. But so I mean, Buffalo makes perfect sense. But yeah, you definitely don't want him to be the number 2. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's going to be out of the league in 3 years. In 3 years, Trey Lance is going to be gone out of the league. He's not playing.
Let me ask you guys this: bigger bust here lately. Mitch Trubisky or Trey Lance?
Trey Lance by a mile. Trubisky's the backup quarterback in Pittsburgh. At least Pittsburgh, if Pickett went down, would have some kind of confidence to go to Trubisky and say, okay, Mitch, go win us a game or 2. With Trey Lance, there's no confidence he's even going to come close to winning a game. So it's Trey Lance for me.
No, Alan, nobody's watching preseason Dallas Cowboys football besides you. So, no, I didn't know Dak was calling plays last night.
Don't take anything with it, Alan.
Don't take it personal, Alan. It's just the truth.
It is the truth.
Alan, I told Jordan Love was playing really well in preseason, and he was like, "Oh yeah, okay." Basically.
I haven't watched the list. I told you guys, I haven't watched one single snap. One single. I'm all in. Yeah, Trubisky can give you a chance right now. Yeah, right. That's true.
I agree 100% with Ryan.
Yeah. I did see the highlight. Looks like Love looks good. Hey, Rodgers looks good to Wilson. I saw a couple of those highlights. Jets, I mean, that's all to be expected outside of maybe. Hey, Tanner, let me ask you this. Jordan Love has looked good on preseason. Are you starting to turn the corner on Jordan Love and maybe backwalking these 3 wins that you're talking about my team?
I'll give you 3.5. I think you can win halftime for one of those. Look, Jordan Love's playing against these freaking bums defense, like guys are going to get cut. It's our depth chart. He's not really playing against number 1s. Let's wait and see week 1, week 2, what he looks like, and then we can talk about changing my win total. But I'll give you at least one more halftime win.
Halftime
for this year.
All right.
But I mean, if he can do what he's doing this preseason and be that effective, I mean, he doesn't need to do that every play. But like if we're talking about like a couple of deep balls to change the game's momentum, that's massive for this Green Bay team because that's something that you need to have to happen. Christian Watson gets open. Get yourself a Torre and Dubs long TD. Like that changes momentums and gets things going. I'm more worried about can he continue drives when he gets to that third and 15, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. Can he continue to get those drives and be smart with his decision making? That's what I'm worried about when it comes to regular season.
I think that's every first time starter, though. You could say that, about a lot of these rookie quarterbacks. And I know he's not a rookie; he's been in the league for 3 years. But
it's a make or break, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
So.
No, you're right. Can you continue continuous drives? Can you maintain drives? So
I'm not saying anything against it. He's thrown some pretty balls, but I'm not taking too much into account, as I will with any ones as well, like Rodgers and Watson yesterday. You're not playing against the starters for that continuation, right? You got maybe a quarter, if not any, in that play. So, but if he can do that against some high quality starters versus some teams, hey, we might be changing a little bit. So, but let's wait till week 3 and we can re-talk about it.
I mean, not only that,
folks.
The defenses aren't playing. The defenses aren't playing anything sophisticated. You know what I'm saying? They're playing about as vanilla as possible.
Yeah.
But I like him, though. You know what I'm saying? I've liked Jordan Love. I liked him coming out in the draft. Did I think he'd be a day one? No. I thought he'd need some time to develop, but Green Bay was probably the perfect situation for him. And like I said, they need to be able to run the ball, play good defense, and just don't ask him to do too much. But at the same time, I think he's got it in him.
And don't forget, Aaron Jones hasn't played. A.J. Dillon hasn't really played.
Mm-hmm.
So when those guys play, I think you're going to see a ton more. You're going to see a ton of running plays to Jones and Dillon. So let's just wait on the. Jordan Love could be good this year. Let's just wait and see what happens after week 1.
Yeah.
Remember, Sam Darnold had MVP numbers going through week 5 a couple years ago when he was Carolina.
Right.
And we all know what happened after that.
He saw ghosts.
Well, I mean, was it the Monday night game, Sam Darnold? You know what I mean? They were anointing this kid. I know it's Greeny and he loves the Jets, but he was anointing him the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread his rookie year, after that Monday night game. So,
well, the worst thing they did with Donald was mic him up. And what was his comment? I'm seeing ghosts. I see things that are out there. And there you go. So,
I mean, that was the worst thing. I mean, but that part of that was Bill Belichick's defense. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's a reason Bill Belichick's never lost. I think he's undefeated, right, Scott, against like rookie quarterbacks or first time.
The only rookie quarterback that almost beat him was Davis Mills in Houston last year. Other than that, no rookie has even come close to beating him. So it's not.
I think you need to check that again, there, Scott.
Why?
Tua's undefeated against Bill Belichick.
Tua was a rookie when he beat him. Okay, all right. So Tua is the only one.
I mean, there's not either way. The record's like 22-2 or 20. You know what I mean?
Something like that. Some insane number.
But I mean, there was so much hype behind Sam Darnold too because of New York and because of people like Greeny and stuff like that. Like I thought he was going to be a good player, but I don't know. Well, can you be successful as a young quarterback in New York?
I don't know.
It doesn't appear. It doesn't seem like
he has excelled in New York.
What talent? Yeah. What talent, though, did he have, though? You know what I mean? What talent?
Right.
Even in Carolina, after CMC got hurt, like, what talent did he really, I mean, DJ Moore.
And they never had a line for him in New York either, man. So he was always.
They said the same thing about Zach Wilson, too, Johnny, when he came out. Oh, this kid's going to be great in New York.
Yeah.
He's going to be tremendous. He's going to do things that you even never. And he suffered, too. And he suffered the same fate as Donald. So, that's why Aaron Rodgers is now, coaching him and guiding him along now, which is a great thing for him. Hopefully he takes this.
And I don't want to sound biased or whatever, but you guys know I'm obviously Aaron Rodgers, kind of like not really. I'll say I'm an Aaron Rodgers truther through and through because but I don't know how you don't watch him on Pat McAfee or even on Hard Knocks, and not like the guy.
He's fine with me. He's totally fine.
I like. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks ever, bro. I like Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about saying. I mean, I think he's got. You know what I'm saying? He does have a different kind of personality or whatever. But he says what's on his mind, and you know what? As long as he balls out in between those lines, I don't give two shits, bro.
And watch out for Garrett Wilson this year. If you don't think he's going to have a huge year this year, you're sadly mistaken because that's Aaron Rodgers.
It's not my keeper for any more reason, right? I mean, let's be real. Like I kept him for a reason.
Yeah.
Real quarterback thrown to you.
Yeah, I think but it's just funny to me. You hear all these stories, several years ago before he kind of was going on Pat and things like that. It's like, Aaron's this, he's an asshole, he's stuck up, he's this, he's that. And then he's on pat for 45 minutes to almost an hour for every Tuesday during the season. And you're like, well, that guy doesn't seem like that. And then you watch him even on Hard Knocks, right? Like, oh, he doesn't mentor the young. You watch him mentoring Zach Wilson. You're watching him, talk to these receivers and things like that. Now, probably maybe a couple years ago, his mind changed. You get older and you get wiser and you get better, right? Like we all don't think the same thing we did at 20 something years old. I know for Scott that was 40 years ago. So
70 years, bite your tongue.
But either way, I really and thoroughly enjoy watching him even outside off the field. It just like interact with people. He's a very interesting person, and I don't know how people can still hate on him.
Listen,
it's because he's too real. They don't say he doesn't say the things that the majority of people today want to hear. So that's the thing. Like people like us, we love hearing that stuff. We love him being super real. But the stuff that comes out of his mouth upsets the public in general because they're like, well, why does he think that way and everything else, Kind of thing. So
right.
For all
he's living his life, man. He's enjoying his life, bro.
For all the stuff he's done off the field, the darkness retreat, dating Danica Patrick, dating all these high profile people. When he comes to the field, he brings it. Every chance he brings it. And if you don't think he's going to bring it again this year in New York in a new situation, this is not going to be how Brett Favre went when he got traded from Cleveland to New York.
No.
This is going to be much better.
It's Peyton Manning to Denver type situation, I believe.
Exactly. With the exception of that Aaron Rodgers is going there with.
I mean, we talked about this guy. Everybody just claims this guy had a bad year last year. He didn't really have a bad year. He had a bad team. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a difference. Yeah. You didn't have any receivers. Yeah. You lost your best receiver. Aaron Jones got hurt part of the way through the season. You didn't have a bad quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
not only that, it's a bad year. It's a bad year for Aaron Rodgers, and it's still better than like half the league or three.
He's still top 10.
He even says, "Hey, his worst years are some guys' career years." Right. You know what I mean? So there's that.
Exactly.
Just to address this, the only where he kind of admitted backhandedly was that he struggles trusting rookies. Every quarterback feels that way, though.
Yeah,
they said it takes them a while to get comfortable with people, and for the people that say that he was Tom Brady yelled at everybody and their mother on the team. The offensive lineman Dan Marino was a big time asshole to his offense, but you know why? Because he demanded greatness out of his offensive line and his players. Most of the greatest quarterbacks have that.
Every great athlete is an asshole. Michael Jordan was an asshole to his teammates. Yep. Kobe Bryant was an asshole to his teammates because he expects the expectation is. I expect you to be as great as I am. That's how, you know what I mean? Like that's what makes them great.
Let's make it clear. You're an asshole, but you're going to be all for that teammate when it succeeds. And you'll be all right behind him when it fails.
Yes.
And you're still with that guy. That's the thing. Like it's just demanding the greatness that comes out of these teammates. And that's the beauty of a teammate. He'll push your ass, but he'll also love your ass afterwards.
Yeah,
and the one thing I'll say about Aaron Rodgers is the biggest loss he had last year was Nathaniel Hackett, who went to Denver. Some guys just feel so much comfortable playing.
I mean, that was partial too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Nathaniel Hackett is Aaron Rodgers' quote unquote kryptonite, so to speak. If he's back in New York with him now, if he has a big year, then everybody can point to that Nathaniel Hackett thing as a reason why. Maybe he struggled a little in Green Bay. Maybe he wasn't, but he had a bad team around him. But maybe he struggled just a little because he loves playing for Nathaniel Hackett. So,
yeah.
I want to throw this one up here, Alan. I don't know how hot of a take it is. He says, hot take, Joe Namath wasn't that good either, honestly. Only gained recognition after the guarantee and given the AFL their first Super Bowl. I agree with that.
I think most people
I don't know how hot of that's what I'm saying. I don't know how hot of a take that is because I think the majority of real football
say that about
fans,
Terry Bradshaw.
I don't know. I give Terry Bradshaw a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, than
Joe. Terry Bradshaw played with a hell of a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Yes, but he won 4, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I hear
you have an
you,
elite
Tanner,
defense and those playmakers.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you, but you could say the same thing for this guy right here, not for nothing. And I like Troy Aikman. But was it Troy Aikman or was it the
It
team
was
that
both.
he had
You gotta have,
around
it's
him?
a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both in that.
You know
Same
what
with
I'm saying?
Terry Bradshaw.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So my take, Ryan's point is here. So my take on Hackett, and this is what I said on Thursday on the fantasy show when they asked me about it. So if you watch in Hard Knocks, and this is what hit me, they said Hackett's always on, right? He's always like this character, fun-loving guy. He's got, they're doing videos, they're doing this, and he did the same thing in Green Bay. You can do that. You can be the fun-loving coach and the guy, and you can be turned on and the quirky guy when you're the assistant coach. But when you're the head coach, everything trickles down to you, right? So you can't be the fun, quirky guy when you're the head coach, because you got to set the precedent. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Bill Belichick sets the precedent. Mike Tomlin sets the precedent. Pete Carroll, right? Like, you can be a player's coach, but you just can't be fun, like goofy and things like. People still got to respect you in those types of things. Like, you can't just be like, hey, I'm going to do this and we're going to have fun. But when you're also at the same time, you got to fall in line. Like, it's the program. You know what I mean? He never had the program, didn't start the program up. Like, what are they doing? So that was my take on Hackett. I think he'll be a great assistant coach all the time because he can be that fun-loving guy, because that's his personality, and they like to play games and things like that. But you can't always be playing games when you're the head coach, because at times you got to make tough-ass decisions.
Would you guys disagree with this? The only reason the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett was because they thought by hiring him they'd get Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead, they got Russ Wilson instead, and it never worked, and it didn't work out.
They got
It may not work out with Russ. Period. Russ has not looked great in Denver in the preseason when he's played this year.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Glass.
I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I just hear, I be hearing things.
I think when Jerry Jeudy comes back off his injury and Russ is the same way he was last year, then you can say that.
Yeah.
Until then, I don't think you really could say it, because he doesn't have all his weapons at his disposal. So.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about this one here that Brian put out? Tony Romo is better than Troy.
No, I don't think so. That's a hot take.
I mean, Troy.
That's a hot take.
He was accurate. I'll give it that Troy Aikman that his accuracy was good. And as far as the Nathaniel Hackett thing, some guys just aren't meant to be head coaches, man.
Yep.
The perfect example of that is North Turner. Yep.
Yeah.
Great
Josh
offensive
McDaniels.
mind. He was just not a leader of men. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniel.
Right.
What's it? Charlie Weiss. Same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, he couldn't get it done at college. Or the Romeo Cornell. Like, there's
Matt Patricia.
Charlie Weiss. I guess we're talking about maybe Notre Dame or whatever the hell he was, but when he was at KU, let's just say it was nothing special there anyway. So.
Oh yeah. He was sleeping in. They caught his ass sleeping in meetings and stuff. When they were
Thanks for the effort, dude. Fire
When
me
you go
for
for
that
Tom
guy.
Brady and then you got to recruit all these kids.
How do you? But yeah, I mean, to Charlie Weiss, how do you go from Tom Brady winning Super Bowls with Tom Brady to Notre Dame, and then next thing you know, you're at Lawrence, fucking Kansas, coaching Kansas, fucking
Where the hell
Jayhawks.
am I? Where is this? I'm just gonna take a nap.
How far have the mighty have fallen? That's what these guys.
Unreal.
Oh shit! Hey, that kind of wraps up the last little bit of sporting news. Let's go ahead and we'll jump into Johnny Cruz's top 5.
Yep, and I kind of mixed it up a little bit because I did have one idea which I'm going to mention to you guys anyway. But of course, with like Nick mentioned to start the show, we lost Bob Barker. Of course, of The Price is Right. He made a great cameo, so I almost threw the top 5 cameos ever, but I did switch it up and put it back to the favorite TV game shows. Now these are my favorite, my top 5.
Oh, I hope Love Connection's on this. I hope Love.
No. Now, my top 5 favorite game shows. Number 5, I don't know if y'all remember this, but Double Dare. It was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, of course.
I remember that. Of course,
That one almost went up a little higher, but I put it at 5 just to say, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, what the fuck is Double Dare? But that was a fun show. Number 4 for me is The Price is Right. I know people may have it higher, but I have it at 4. Number 3, I have Press Your Luck. I used to love that show with the right. And then number 2, yes. Number 2 is Wheel of Fortune. And number 1 for me, game show is Family Feud, bro. I love Family Feud. I've always loved Family Feud.
Which one?
I like the Dawson. You know, saying I like the Dawson back in the day, especially because he was such a pervert and he was kissing all the women on the shows. But I mean, Family Feud was just fun. You know, what I'm saying, I mean, everybody that hosted that show. I mean, there's like a jinx down there, but yeah. And then of course Steve Harvey is holding it down now, or whatever. But yeah, Family Feud I got at 1. Wheel of Fortune, I love Wheel of Fortune. I've always loved Wheel of Fortune. I know a lot of people might be like, oh, Jeopardy and stuff. Nah, man, I can't. I don't want to play a game that makes me feel stupid. So I'm good.
I have one. I'll give you as number 1 for me.
I've got a few here that almost made it. But go ahead. What's your favorite one?
My number 1 would be Match Game.
I have it here. Celebrity Match Game. Celebrity Match Game was right there. Password, Hollywood Squares, the pyramid.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That one was great
too. Yeah,
that one was.
Hey, that had a run. That had a run.
No, it did.
It had a run. When it first started, that when nobody was getting it, I still remember. And maybe it's because like I was a kid, so like I still remember. Old boy who first wanted calling his dad. He's like, I'd like to use a lifeline. And he goes, I want to call, and he hadn't used any lifelines yet. No lifelines had been used. And he goes, I'm going to call my dad. And he's like, okay. He's like, Dad, I just want to tell you, I'm going to win the first ever Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And then just hung up on his dad. Like, that's like a core memory in my brain.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another game show that was good. Deal or No Deal was awesome.
Yeah.
With
Let's Make a Deal was fun. I mean, that was. I mean, what was it? The 80s or something like. There was all kinds of game shows, man. But yeah, those are my top 5. Go ahead, bro.
You missed a couple. There's the Nickelodeon one that was better than Double Dare, which was Legends of the Hidden Temple. That was the rockin' one.
I don't know that. That's too young for me there. Alan has that in his top 5. He has it at number 2. Alan threw up Price is Right 5, Wheel of Fortune 4, Double Dare 3, Legends of the Hidden Temple 2, and then Family Feud 1. I don't even know what the hell that is. So that's
the most funny one is Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh yeah,
is that a game show though? Is it because it was the same?
Yeah, it is a game show.
Yeah. But it was the same people though. It was the same people though.
Well, yeah, they had the same core for the most part, but they had different guys at times.
But what I'm saying is like it wasn't like
amazing.
It's
a game show, dude.
But what I'm saying is like it didn't involve like normal like
normal people that could actually win something. And
what about this?
We don't want that.
What about American Gladiators? Where do you guys put that at? Is that a game show to y'all? Because I mean, it had. I mean,
Average Joes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pros versus Joes. Pros versus Joes.
Joes versus Pros. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that one.
What about the Gong Show?
What?
Never really watched it, Scott.
Okay.
I know what you're saying, but I never watched it.
There's a game show called the Gong Show where
the Gong Show
and
the
do
Gong
acts.
Show.
Yeah, they'd have a big giant.
Gong.
Yes, they have a big giant thing in the back, and the
they got a big giant gong.
The celebrities would take a paddle and hit the gong if they thought they weren't good. If they were good, they'd let them go on, keep going on. There's this guy that used to come out in a paper bag called the Unknown Comic. It's funny. It was funny as hell. You have to watch it.
That was like 70s, early 70s, right?
Yeah, that was
my grandparents used to watch the Game Show Network on Dish Network, and I'd never even seen that one come across.
That it's a really good show. I mean, it's been reincarnated, but it's an old show.
Yeah,
I
used to love that back in the day, man. As a kid. Yeah. You say if it wasn't cartoons, I'd be watching game shows and having fun with game shows. So, R.I.P. Bob Barker.
You guys watch Wheel of Fortune at all?
Nah, I haven't watched it.
I haven't in a minute, but
Pat Sajak's
I used to
leaving.
watch it with my wife for dinner.
Yeah,
Pat Sajak's leaving, right, Tanner? He's retiring.
Yep.
Him and Vanna White both.
So,
no,
White hasn't announced it. White might be a different whole issue with the lawsuit she put out towards the game. So, but she might be forcing retirement.
She's suing them? What for? What's that about?
Type of harassment.
She has never gotten a raise in her since the first year.
She's 30 years or whatever. It's been on the air like 30 years.
And so she somehow found out the salary between like everybody, and she's never got a raise. So she threw it out as some kind of discrimination.
First of all, that's her own dumbass fault. You've been at a company for 30 motherfucking years and you ain't never asked for a raise. That's your own. I don't even feel bad for Vanna. Like you just
That's a bad agent. That's a bad agent.
Right.
I just turned lettuce.
Wow.
Imagine she goes and looks for a real job. What is she puts on her resume? I turn lettuce on TV for a living.
She's plenty fine, right? We all know that. Money guys. So, but
I mean, that's a bad.
So
who's her agent? Who is her agent? That she needs to fire her agent. I mean, that's her own stupidity.
That's going to be out of a job forever.
Ryan says she's making $725 for 30 years.
See, this is what I personally think.
They told enough. It'd be like $5.
When Pat Sajak leaves, I think they're going to say to Vanna, "Hey, look, Vanna, we're revamping the show." I think Vanna would be out too. I think they'll just redo.
Hey, she gets $5 a letter every time. If she only gets $5, I only been getting $5 for every letter I get.
When the wheel spins, come on, get some letter. I need money.
I think
stop buying vows.
Buy a bunch of vows. She's just out there buying vows.
What's going on, Bo? Morning,
what's that? So I used to. So when I was in school, I used to run home. They used to be from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. Used to be match Spider-Man, the show Spider-Man, and then Match Game was on right after. It was those made my afternoons. They were great.
Match Game was funny.
Yeah, I like celebrity.
Yeah,
like
Rayburn
I actually have 5. You know what I'm saying? Like I had 5. Honorable mentions. I could have done a top 10. You know what I'm saying? There's so many game shows.
What about the Newlywed Game?
I like American Gladiators. I
watched it, but it's
I'm
not going to be my top 5.
I'm surprised there ain't more fights when they got it wrong. When the couples got it wrong,
right?
I saw one. My buddy sent me a clip yesterday. It was an old 70s in the 70s or so, and it's like she's like, "What's one thing that you're mad about that the neighbors have that you don't?" And he says something and it was wrong. She's like, "I put more grass. Like you want our neighbors have more grass." He's like, "I doubt that." And
But if you look back at some of the stuff that they used to say and do on those shows back in those days, like you couldn't do that shit now.
No. Buddy, groping your wife right in front of you these days. I mean, on the newly
on the Family Feud. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing, man? Hey, tongue down your wife's throat and stuff, and then your daughter, and then your auntie, and everybody else.
Two game shows, Johnny, that you were thinking of.
Whole family come back and got herpes.
Was Passport up there?
Yep, I have Passport in my top 10.
And how about the quick defunct Let's Talk Sports game show? Was that on there too? Was that close?
Man, yeah. Hey, what's our one?
I think it got honorable mention. It got honorable mention.
What's our one? You know what I mean? They realized nobody was going to beat the champ, so you know what I mean. So
have the only 2 trophies in the whole thing.
When Dan realized that he was going to have to put it on Rookie League, say for anybody to be able to play. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't ever get my shot at Keith.
You ain't lying about that, Alan.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I've stopped watching.
Patient boys.
Say to me, "You're on the clock,
bro."
If you want your waiver wire, draft in now.
Yeah,
it's only 15 rounds too. We're through like 8 or 9, so
we'll be
over the next week. Gotta be all.
We'll be okay.
I was about to offer somebody, you can have all my last 5 picks, bro.
Just let me pick
just so it can be done.
I'm done draft. I think I got my whole team. I don't have a defensive kicker yet, so I need at least to fill that out. But
yeah, and why are people?
And now you can get on the waiver wire at the
round.
Come on, grab it before week 1.
Yeah, Alan.
Why drafted the Cowboys in the 8th round.
Why would you trade up to go get a freaking Cowboy? What is wrong?
That was
Cowboys defense. Wow. Hey, well, that's the show, folks. Let's get out of here. Johnny, start our final goodbyes.
It was a fun week. This was a fun show. I'm glad I switched it up. Thanks for that, Nick.
You're welcome.
As far as the top 5. Yeah, just again, so we lost Bob Barker. There's been a lot of loss lately, it feels like. So again, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate everybody. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful for what you have in your life and who you have around you, for the friends you have that can make you laugh and smile. Every day isn't guaranteed to us, so have fun. But I'm going to have a great day. It's wifey's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Love hanging out with you guys. Looking forward to tomorrow night's show. Got the Let's Talk. Got the Johnny Cruz show tomorrow, which I'm going to have Alan on there. So we're going to talk a little bit of Dallas. I'm gonna try to keep it to a little bit of Dallas, but it's talking to Alan, so it's probably gonna be hard. But we're gonna talk some Star Wars and other stuff too on Monday. Tuesday, Let's Talk Miami Dolphins with my boy Alex, and of course Monday and Thursday the LTS show on 9 o'clock on Monday and Thursday, and the Scott Cope show at 7 on Thursday. Do we know? I'll let you say that. I'll let you take that.
No, we don't know. I'm working on a couple of things for the show.
But yeah, everybody
we ended up going solo, Johnny, and just talking.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll have a good time. But everybody out there, enjoy your Sunday. And week 1 is right around the corner, people.
Yep.
Scott, give us our bets and then your final goodbye one more time.
So you guys, I took Atlanta, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. Those are my 3 picks. That's number 1. Number 2 is again, been a lot of death, a lot of hard times for a lot of people. When you're with family, tell them you love them, give them a kiss. You know, be happy to spend time with family. The moment you get together, tomorrows are not given. So enjoy the time you have with them now. Johnny, happy birthday to your wife. I hope you and her have a great day today.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And tune in for the Let's Talk Sports show tomorrow night. From what I understand, Off the Rails is not going to happen tonight. So you people are strayed one night from no Off the Rails. So
yeah. You're safe. You're safe for one Sunday afternoon.
We could actually get Ed in Columbus on, and he could be off the rails himself, and we could just let him go and see what happens. So, but no, seriously.
Right.
The Let's Talk Sports show is always fun. It's always an enjoyable time. Yes. So, I enjoy it a lot. I look forward to the show. So,
Tanner, you got any final goodbyes?
Yeah. Hey, we're in Iowa here, just past the University of Iowa, who should be kicked out of the top 25 from week 1.
You don't say that. You don't say that. You don't say that. Hey, Tanner, turn to Dewey Huey and tell them go to the football and say, please stop fucking gambling, will you?
Yeah, right. Amen to that. God damn. I got to go up to Ames to do that, too.
Is Caitlin Clark in the analyst in place for Nick, by the way?
I should go, check the bars, make sure she's okay. But we got some good stuff coming up, guys. Football season is right around the corner. I'm going to reach out to Dan here, but pretty sure we're going to get our post games and pre games all set and rolling for week 1. So get ready for that as well. Tune in. We will have Monday night Jim and John. Jim's time. We'll go over the NFC East.
Yep.
And discuss and get our previews on that division Monday night, and we'll finish our final division out at the AFC East on Thursday with Mr. Keith Engel, who I still got a message, but he'll do it. He's cool like that.
I was say Scott could just let him know when he wakes up from his nap or whatever, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Scott, just slip him a note.
Hold on, before Nick goes, how much do you have to pay Keith to come on the Let's Talk Sports show Thursday night?
We don't discuss money on the show, bro.
It's just a measly $500. He's pretty expensive.
I was about to say
and some porridge.
How about porridge?
We promised him extra tapioca pudding, and you got to lose. You got to lose. You got to lose a couple games of chess to him.
I'm about to say, ain't he on the?
Telling me, okay.
Right, ain't he under Vanna White contract where he's getting paid the same thing he's been getting paid for the last 30 years? So he's getting $5. He's getting $5.
If Keith Thursday night says to everybody, buy a vowel, we'll know something's up. So.
Oh yeah, Wednesday night. By the way, Sports Buffoons. We'll be doing just a one big in-depth preview of the conferences with Jason and Mike, and we'll be giving you guys a Chiefs preview. Hopefully, we get a lot of cuts by then. So. Keep an eye out for Wednesday night with the Buffoons. And then, of course, right here on Let's Talk Sports Show. Oh, and Tuesday night, Rec Room Sports Podcast. We'll be doing our Hear Me Out live.
Nice.
Next week 1, Mr. Cruz is going to join us for that, but we'll announce that next week. So lots of things coming, guys. Stay tuned to this network because there's crap tons coming into play. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys. Yesterday, we got to meet Bill Aiken out there. He came out, went to the game with me, BP. We hanged out and everything like that. He has a picture. I'll have to get it from him, but I'll put a picture on Twitter whenever I get it from him. But yeah, it was really cool to meet the guy in person. He is skinny as hell now, like from what we saw when he started with us. But really cool guy, down to earth, really knowledgeable about his sports as well. So excited to maybe get him a little bit more going in the thing. So, but really cool to meet Bill. So
yeah, let's get him on.
Nice.
Bill. So my final thought is say goodbye to the career of the one Mr. Korean Zombie. Yesterday was his final fight in Singapore. He got knocked out by Max Holloway, and that was a fun Saturday morning card. It was like 8 a.m. Eastern. Man, it was great to wake up, drink coffee, and watch some UFC. But Max blessed Holloway, knocks out Korean Zombie, and Korean Zombie retired yesterday. If you get a chance, it's just emotional walkout and intro. Outro, like once he leaves the cage, they're playing the Cranberries zombie song, which he always walked out to, and he's crying. And it was in Singapore. He's from Korea, obviously. That's why they call him the Korean Zombie, but close enough to his home country. And it was a great fight. He went out on his shield. I mean, guy just in the second round just started swinging and eventually got knocked out. But he's had a great career. He's fought for the title a few times. It's was always in some fun fights. There's a reason they call him the Zombie. For a reason. It's because he just kept going forward, even no matter how many times you hit him. And Holloway put him out last night, yesterday morning. It was a fun fight. And also Erin Blanchfield. Remember the name Erin Blanchfield? She could be next for the women's strawweight title. She is an absolute stud. So watch out for her. She looks like she could be a future UFC champion. AEW tonight, this afternoon. So that'll be fun too. All out. So we'll talk about with just a little bit with Jim tomorrow as well as we preview the NFC East. We'll have the NFC AFC East on Thursday, like Tanner said. And then week 1, Thursday night, we will be making all the picks against the spread, and we'll be keeping track. And the winner will win the gold chain at the end of the year. I will mail it out to one of you guys if you guys beat me. But this is what we're playing for, the gold chain. We will also have guests on Thursday making the picks as well. But between the 5 of us, we are playing for this bad boy. So, yeah.
Are we doing it like an ESPN game day thing where we have a guest of the week who picks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And we'll be making the picks against the spread every Thursday. But we'll keep Tanner's going to hopefully keep tally for us, and we'll be the winner at the end of the year. We'll be winning the gold chain. So, Johnny, this will look fly for you in Miami. Looking like the U, baby. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
Could you send us $50 in cash too? Would that be possible?
So I will. But yeah, we got some big things planning up. We're up to something here on the LTS show. So big things coming. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow night with Jim and John, our NFC East preview, talk a little more baseball, a little all-out, fallout as well. So we'll see you then. Be a friend, tell a friend. Like, subscribe, share. You guys know what to do. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Johnny, hit that outro. Let's get out of here.
Life back, what do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
Could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free.